There's two things that people just like me, your peers, your mentors, say to you. One, you've got to be more authentic. Secondly, you've got to do advisory. And you probably think, what the blimmin' heck are you talking about? How do I be more authentic? And how do I do advisory? So, unfortunately, for the authentic question, I'm not covering that today. I'll come back to that one. For the advisory one, I'm going to share exactly what advisory is. Now, surprisingly, let me just share my screen with you. Surprisingly, you need to give your advice away for free. And I'm going to show you what you can actually charge for. So a lot of people come to me and go, what exactly is advisory? And my peers will say to you, oh, you need to give advice. Not so sure about that one. So I'm going to be sharing with you exactly what it is that you need to do. So advice is generally already free. It's one of those things that can be commoditized right now. Clients can ask ChatGPT for advice. They can ask Claude for advice, Gemini for advice. They can ask any AI software for advice. They can buy their own software. They can run reports. I can buy Xero direct. I can run reports in my dashboard on Xero. Absolutely, completely. It's almost free. I have to pay for the subscription, right? So what I want to talk to you about though is actually it's not advice that you need to sell. You might think it is, but it's not. Advice isn't about giving advice. The reason why is because we now, as your ideal clients, have as much advice as we want at our fingertips, as long as we know the right questions to ask, okay? So I'm going to share with you how I built a document that shows me how much tax I pay at different income levels and how along those different levels my take-home pay changes and where the tipping point is. Now, this took me less than 10 minutes, and you will have heard me say many times before how my father is a tax technician, and I built this in under 10 minutes. I sent it to him and it totally blew his mind. Now, he's a little bit older and retired, so this is something that he hasn't been looking at over the past couple of years. But when I said to him, could you do this and how long would it take you? He said, yes, absolutely, he could do it. However, it would have taken him a couple of hours to come up with the information and create it and share it with me. I did it in less than 10 minutes with no accounting knowledge whatsoever. So let me share with you what it is that I'm talking about. I don't know if you can see the screen clearly. If you would like a copy of what I created, if you want to be able to have a look and see it, I'm very happy to send it to you. Just send me a message on LinkedIn or Facebook somewhere saying, hey, can I have a look at the spreadsheet? But I created a spreadsheet. It's got 3 different tabs. The first tab had, if I paid myself 7K a month, 8K, 9, 10, all the way up to 15K, what would my tax be? How much dividends would I have to pay myself? How much money could I take home? And then the next bit that you can see on the right hand side is exactly the same, but if I took it as salary. And then the third tab tells me what's the tipping point, when do I take it as salary? And then I did some more playing around, which I haven't got in this document, but what is the tipping point if I pay corp tax? And how do I take home the most money and pay the least tax? I worked it all out in 10 minutes using Claude. This was done in Claude, okay? So a full tax model built by me in under 10 minutes that would have taken a tax technician, or even you guys as an accountant and bookkeepers, if you're not a tax technician, it would have been really complicated. No. Time consuming, yes, for you to do. That's the thing, right? The time consuming. So that I did. So if you can't do that work anymore, what does actually being an advisor mean? Well, my peers and I keep telling you to be an advisor, but clients can go and get advice for free. They can, as I said, they can ask Claude, they can ask ChatGPT. So the answer is not more advice. It's 2 things. One is analysis of the information. So it's great that I've got that document, but if I didn't understand it, I'd have to have somebody analyze it, right? So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is not analysis, but actually the relationship. If you think about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? One of the things that we really need is connection and community. And as an advisor, that's what you give people. You don't as an accountant or bookkeeper if you're not talking to your clients, but if they have the opportunity to talk to you, it's connection and community, okay? So I'm going to be sharing with you the different elements of what an advisor actually is. And you can see here, the first thing is not about giving advice. It's actually about leaning in and listening to your clients. It's about, this side is the relationship as I go through. Some is going to be relationship based, some is going to be analysis based. Both of them require a human to do that in a way that builds the relationship and means that you're not commoditized like doing compliance work. Okay, so listening is the first thing that you need to be really good at if you're going to move into the role of advisory. The second is giving insights. This is analyzing it, but not just giving insights. It's about knowing the right thing to say that's relevant for the client in front of you. And this is why I say AI can't do it, because AI doesn't know where that person is in their personal life. So you listen to your ideal clients and you give insights based on their personal life and their business life, not just the small amount of information that AI might have if it was going to analyze the numbers, right? The third thing is clarity. So you've listened, you've given them insights, and you then need to help them gain clarity on where they are, where they want to go, how this is relevant to them. Then you've got to teach them. So you've listened, you've given them insights, you've given them some clarity. Then you need to teach them how they're going to get to where they want to go. So clarity on their goals, great. Teach them then how to get to where they're going to go. All of these things cannot be done by AI because it all starts with the first thing, which is listening and asking those right questions. Then we need to coach people to achieve these goals. We need to help them. We need to support them. We need to give them tissues when they're crying. We need to cheer them on when they're winning. All of that's really important. This is all part of the elements of being a business advisor. We need to make sure that they're going in the right direction. So where we've got clarity on their goals, we then need to do the teaching and the coaching and then make sure that they're going on the right direction to where they need to be. Then we need to be looking at keeping them accountable. So we've got all of this going on, but how are we going to make sure that they hit these goals? How are we going to make sure that they are doing the things that they want to actually do rather than take action that a computer's given them that isn't in alignment? I think alignment is a really good word here because alignment is what is needed for you as the advisor, your client as the business owner, but then we need to align it with their personal life as well. Those are the things that need to be in place for you to be a really good advisor, and you need to keep them accountable to that, and you need to know all of these different areas. This is the other one that I think is really key, is you've got to be able to challenge your clients. So today I was talking to my coach, and I was having a conversation with him and he was challenging me on things in a way that made me think, oh, okay, I need to think about that rather than just assume. As business owners, we make assumptive decisions. Claude, ChatGPT, don't care if we assume things. They're not going to call us out and go, let me just double check because what you said last week, they don't remember what we said last week. Okay, so we can challenge and we can support and help in that way. And then we have to be agile. So as an advisor, we have to be agile and change with what's happening in the world. Great example of that is all the disruption through AI. We had COVID. We've had so many disruptions in the past 5-6 years that actually one of the key parts of being an advisor is the ability to be agile. And I talk a lot about that. Agile in the face of the economic climate, agile in the face of what's going on in your clients' lives, personal and business. That is super, super key. So they're the different elements of being an advisor and they all link together. And if you do not do all of these things as an advisor and you just give advice, you're missing out probably 90% of what an advisor really needs to do. So I hope that this has given you some clarity. You need to listen, you need to give insights, you need to help them get clarity themselves. You need to teach and coach and give direction, keep them accountable, you need to challenge, and you need to be agile as an advisor. Get these things in place and you will transform your client's world. This is why advisory isn't just giving advice. Now, if you would like to find out more about this, go to my website, amandacwatts.com, and go to my YouTube channel, which is also Amanda C. Watts, where I cover more on this. I will be covering about how to show up and be authentic. But as I said, they're the two main questions. What is authenticity and how to be an advisor? I have shared with you exactly the things that you need to do to be a great advisor. If you've got any questions, reach out to me on LinkedIn. If you want a copy of that document, send me a message on LinkedIn or Facebook, and I will get you a copy of that spreadsheet that's got all of that breakdown. I'd be very keen to hear your thoughts and whether you like it, love it, or loathe it. All right, I'll see you all soon. Have a great day. Catch up with you again soon.